Nothing's happening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Sci-Fi Chronicles. And tonight I am joined by my friend Istophobos. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great today. Cheers, everybody. Hail chat. And
Yeah, good to see you.
get off my lawn, Russell T. Davies. Get off my fucking lawn.
We got Z3PO. How you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you, John. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're
Hello
welcome.
to the
Misery loves
chats and
company.
the lovely buttery guests that we have on today.
I can't compete with that. God damn, it's not fair.
Sexual chocolate Z right there. And then we've got Mr. Ian Diaz. So good to see you, mate. You doing well?
Yeah, doing all right. Yeah. Let's get on with it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do the pain. But before we go into talking about obviously the news today that's broke about Doctor Who returning in 2026, in the chat pinned at the top, I've put a link to Ian's Rebecca Gold channel. So by all means, check it out. And if you like it, which I'm sure you will, just give him some support, give him a like and a subscribe. But now that I've said that, let's get into it. So, guys, I'm going to bring up the press release that we've had today. So let me just bring that up. Here we go. So can you all see that? Okay. Yeah, cool.
Yep.
So here we go. Doctor Who will be back on our screens at Christmas 2026 with a special episode written by Russell T. Davies. Great. With Disney Plus confirming they will not be partnering on the next season of the Sci-Fi show, the BBC remain fully committed to the show and will announce plans for the next series in due course to ensure the Doctor's adventures continue. Lindsay Salt, director of drama, BBC, says, "We'd like to thank Disney Plus for being terrific global partners and collaborators over the past 2 seasons and for the upcoming The War Between the Land and the Sea. The BBC remains fully committed to Doctor Who, which continues to be one of our most loved dramas, and we're delighted that Russell T. Davies has agreed to write us another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. Yeah, great. We can assure fans the Doctor is not going anywhere, and we will be announcing plans for the next series in due course, which will ensure the TARDIS remains at the heart of the BBC. Before next year's special, fans of the beloved series will have much to enjoy with The War Between the Land and the Sea, heading to BBC iPlayer and BBC One later this year, as well as a brand new animation series for CBeebies, which is in development. The Doctor Who Christmas special will be produced by Bad Wolf with BBC Studios for the BBC. Yippee. So, what do we think about that, guys?
That's a bunch of corporate nonsense speak, for one thing.
Yeah,
they're non-committal. I thought they stopped the Christmas special, because Christmas is, white supremacist. Didn't they move that to New Year's?
That was under the Chibnall era.
Oh, okay. So they're back to like the Christmas special. It's not this Christmas. It's going to be next. And they have this vague, in a couple of years, we'll come back. I'm not exactly, and they're not happy about Disney pulling out its $150 million of support. So, I mean, it's all just, nonsense. We call it Hollywood speak over here, or whatever your version of it. There's not, the only specifics they have is that animated show, which is for, grooming the kids, and this one Christmas special, which is over a year out. So, everything is subject to change anyway, of course, but it's easier when you haven't really made any commitments to begin with. So I don't know. I just tend not to really believe anything these studios put out these days.
No. So, I mean, my thoughts on it are that it's a nice puff piece with Russell T. Them shining a big sunlight up Russell T Davies' arse to basically say it's great, we've got him back to write a script. You know, I've said before, you know, and I think I said to you earlier, Ian, this is the equivalent of a man is a decaying husk on the floor, and the people that have injured the guy have decided to come back now just to give him a quick sharp kick in the bollocks just to finish it off. This is what this is with Russell T Davies coming back, because you're giving him one more story to try and indoctrinate people with ideology. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I want to hear what Z thinks, man.
Yeah.
What I think.
He's building up to it, isn't he?
Yeah, it's great news that Doctor Who's coming back, but it's really bad news that Russell T Davies is still at the helm.
Yeah.
You know, because we are just going to get more of the same stuff that we've got in the past. It's going to be preachy bollocks and nobody's going to like it. And
yeah,
the legacy of Doctor Who's going to die in a whimper.
Yeah, I think it just, we've said it before, you know, Doctor Who is the what was Doctor Who is not coming back, because my view on it is, even if Russell T Davies just does the one and goes, it's going to be one of his acolytes that takes it over. So you're still going to have the same stuff pumped out to families and children. So it, for me, I've said before, it needed at least 10 years away, and then it needed to come back addressing a retcon of Jodie Whittaker onwards, because without that being done, people are still going to remember this like a, you know, like a fart in a building. You know, it's just it's gonna linger.
Unfortunately, I don't think the BBC in its current state will consider a retcon of any kind.
No.
I'd like to just cut through the bullshit and let's see what they mean. Okay, so basically they're saying that Disney's left, and we know why Disney left, because basically nobody was watching the show and they were like, fuck this, we're not putting any more money into this dead horse. So that's why they left. Okay, just cut through the bullshit. The reason why they've got Russell T back is because nobody else will take on the project, and there's a rumor that they're angry at him and they want him to clear up his mess. So they wanted to clear up this Billy Piper shit at the ending. That's one of the reasons why he's back. And also, if he is going to come back and do the Christmas special, he's not going to have Billy Piper as the Doctor. I think he's going to bring that insufferable fucking idiot back, who's known as David Tennant. He's going to bring David Tennant back for the Christmas special. So he still thinks people are going to tune in because it's David Tennant. But if he's the
only one that would take the job, though.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's got the same "are you gay" stuff in it, then nobody's going to watch it. And this is what's going to happen. They're going to hire him and he's going to write some bollocks. He's going to have David Tennant in it, maybe Billy Piper in it as well. It's going to be as gay as the gayest shit ever. And it's not going to work. And then once that's done, the Christmas special is done, they either do one or two things. They either bring in a blue-haired woman to take over, which is probably what they'll do, or they'll come to their senses and get in a male showrunner that's not gay, that's a white dude, and he will correct everything. But that's not going to happen.
Well, didn't they offer Toby Whitehouse the chance to showrun before?
Who's Toby Whitehouse?
Yeah, he's the guy who did Being Human series. He's doing, I think he's doing Bergerac at I don't know. I think he's doing Bergerac at the moment as well.
Yeah. Well, BBC's not hiring anyone that's not gay or for the trans thing.
So do you remember the story like early on when 2005, after Eccleston, got fed up and left? I think they called them that they used to meet all the Doctor Who writers would meet at the Fitzroy pub and plan their long game for injecting the LGBTQ agenda into, and they called them like the Fitzroy Club or something. Like they need to get a writer at least from outside that little group, because they're all on the same page as far as injecting agenda and grooming kids. And I think Toby is a little better and he's not part of that crowd, but like I said, he turned it down. I think it would have led to a much better product than we got within the shooting era for sure.
BBC is not hiring any straight white guys. They're not hiring males, right? They're hiring females. Hence why there's a female runner looking after drama. Do you know how many dramas BBC puts out that there are female leads in, which is uncalled for? That's what they're doing. BBC is so far up their own bum that they cannot see what they're doing. Actually, no, they know what they're doing. Let's put it that way. And on top of that, which is really evil, they want to groom kids with this cartoon thing. So
don't you have some anti-discrimination laws there on the books though? Like, well, if they're not going to hire any straight guys, at least they could hire like the most masculine gay one, right?
The trouble you've got with those laws like that as well is they do it, and the worst they ever get out of it is maybe a slap on the wrist or a small fine, even though they break them. So again, the Doctor Who, what it was, has been infiltrated, is literally like an organism. Yeah, an organism has literally hollowed out a corpse and climbed inside of it. That's what Doctor Who is now, and that's what it will be, because we've said this before. I think us guys were on a show before. I think we talked about it, guys, where it said it's going to be the same. If it's the same people, you're going to get the same results.
Of course you
and
are.
It's going to be the same people again, because this is Bad Wolf and BBC. Even if you took Bad Wolf out of the equation, as Ian was just saying a few minutes ago, you've still got the BBC. So they're still going to be all in lockstep with each other about what they want to do and what they want to put forward to the audience. So, it's not great news.
The thing is, though, sorry, Esther. The thing is, though, right? The way I'm talking, you think that I really hate the gay community and stuff. I don't. I really don't, right? In fact, I hate to say this, but a lot of my friends are gay. So it's not that I hate it. I just hate what they're doing to the Doctor Who and to things like Star Wars and Star Trek and all that. They're putting all this crap in there, right? And it's just not right. It really isn't. It's horrible. Could you imagine, right? Somebody sits down, a writer is in charge of Doctor Who, and they say, I want the Doctor to be gay. I want him to wear a skirt. I want him to dance in a gay bar, and they all agree to it. They all agree to it. And this is a show for kids. So look, as I said, I'm not against that. I think that kids should be left alone until they reach a certain age. And then you could talk to them about it if they so wish to want to know. But don't try and groom them when they're 6 and 7 and 8 and tell them this thing is, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I get that.
There's another common sense thing is, like, I have nothing against, I don't care if somebody's gay or not, whatever they do in their private life, that's fine. But you don't create mainstream policy, a mainstream agenda for a small special interest group that's such a tiny percent of the population. It's like, making rule. You take this really small group, 1 or 2%, and you insist that everything needs to conform to them. And that's a ridiculous thing. The other thing, we have this a lot in America, where we hire the people that caused the problem to fix it. And that never works. No. You cannot repair a problem with the person who created it.
Also, you're talking to a guy that actually made a web series with a gay character. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that I'm against it. It just has to be done right. Do you know? But for instance, if I was hired to direct the Jodie era, right, there is no way it would have been like that. Absolutely no way, right? It wouldn't have been like that at all. In fact, I probably wouldn't even hire Jodie Whittaker. I would probably hire someone that's quite hotter,
basically.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't care that Rebecca Gold is gay. We just want her to be hot, and that's listen. If I want
mission accomplished.
If I want ugly, I can look in the mirror, or I can walk out my front door, or if I'm really feeling masochistic, I can go to Walmart. I don't want to turn on the TV or go to the cinema and see a bunch of ugly fucking people. Nobody wants to, men and women alike. And they're trying to inject this, grounded reality in the very entertainment that we use to get away from reality.
They're not trying. They're not trying to. They've done it. They've done it.
Yeah.
They've literally destroyed
and they
the whole.
Well, that's why Sydney Sweeney is so on fire, because people are finally, we're sick of looking at these freak show women that look like 12-year-old boys and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just give us somebody fun and hot who's not, preaching all the time. And she's definitely that.
I just before we move on, I just want to say hi to everybody who's in the chat tonight. It's really good of you to join us. I mean, a few Gavin Blackburn, good to see you. We got Rebecca Gold. Where did that come from?
She's around.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not into dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Julie Coonan, great to see you. Lord Foth, always great to see you, my friend. Golden Age Geek, brilliant to see you, buddy. And Garbage, I want to send a special thanks. Garbage is on holiday tonight and generously offered to mod tonight. So thank you very much, my friend. It's appreciated. We've got Brendan from the Sensesphere in the chat as well. He might pop on later because he's got some news from a source about Doctor Who as well. And then we've got Istophobos in there as well. Blimey, talk about, he's in there and he's on here. Blimey. So we've got the full squad tonight, which is good. But I mean, again, when you talk about the caliber of what we witnessed, well, anybody who witnessed it to a point that they could stomach, we know what we're going to get in a Christmas special from Russell T Davies. But you've just said it. We've all said it already on this show. We've got the war between the land and the we coming in a few weeks' time, and look, we already know that's going to be a snapshot again of what you're going to expect from a special from Russell T Davies.
What did we get for the Christmas special? We got some overweight woman that ate the moon or something like that, or ate a star. Do you know what I mean? What's that all about? Why?
Because fat girls are empowering, Ian. Didn't you know that?
It really is stupid. It really is stupid. Anybody seen these AI short films or short things they put in those? Where there's always a fat guy that's like, there's one where a fat woman jumped off the thing and hit the swimming pool and the whole place destroyed. You've seen them? I mean, it's not a good thing to be overweight. It's not good for your health.
It's not. But you know what makes me laugh about that? They almost do it, and they almost pushing down the route of going, okay, this is body positivity, but then they make her eat a sun or a star. So you're doing body positivity, but then she's going to eat an entire star straight after.
I don't mind that. I think it's a good thing that you have mixed race couples on TV and sometimes in adverts as well. I think it's a good thing. But what I don't like is, like, for instance, Ncuti is the gay doctor, right? Why didn't they treat him properly as a gay doctor? Why did they have to push it to the total extreme of being gay? Total, not halfway, not so he says it, but totally all the way that he was wearing a skirt and that he was like, oh, love, and all that rubbish. Oh, fabulous. And why did they push
flamboyant?
That's a stereotype. That is an insult to people that are gay. I mean, there are people like that, of course, but you know what I mean, right?
Because they're pandering and none of this is sincere, they don't really understand the groups that they are pretending to cater to. That's why it always comes across as, gimmicky or pandering or worse. The worse is fetishizing. But there's no authenticity in what they're doing. And that's why it always comes across so artificially feeling. Because they don't mean it, and you can tell they don't mean it. And then as soon as the wind blows and they change to something else, it's like, oh, today, we're trans, and then next thing you know, oh, let's get some flags out there. Now we're protesting.
But guys, they could have handled it so so much better. As I said, right? If they decided that the Doctor was gay, that would have been fine with me. But instead, they
Oh.
pushed it to extreme where it was just too much.
No,
They
the
could have
Doctor
done it
was always
subtly.
no. The
Do you know?
Doctor is not a sexual being. He shouldn't
Of
be gay
course.
or straight. He should
No.
be beyond all of that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But if they decided to,
Absolutely.
if they decided to go that way, it's all right. Let's go back to Jodie, for instance, right? If they decided that the Doctor needs to be female, that was fine with me, even though I disagree that the Doctor should be female. But why didn't they do it properly? Why did they decide to attack people and attack the fans? You see,
Yeah.
this is the question you guys got to ask yourself. Why did they decide to attack the Doctor Who fans, right? And the only answer I can come up with is that basically it's not about the show. It's about
The
the
message.
long game. It's about the message,
Yeah,
right?
the grooming. It's about the
And
agenda.
it's all
and
about that, right? And that's what I'm saying, right? That is not good for any show. As I said, if I was in charge of the Jodie era, man, that era would have been great. She would have been
Yeah.
hot. You know, she would have been a true Doctor. It would have been, people would have been crying that she regenerated. Do you know what I mean?
Tonight,
That's how-
tonight on Doctor Who Baywatch, directed by Ian David Diaz.
No, I wouldn't
She's
go
running
that
down the
far.
beach.
I wouldn't,
Well,
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'm
go
signing
that
up
far.
for that though.
look at the
But
thing
you
about
know what I mean,
Davros,
right?
though.
You know what I mean, don't you? So
Yeah.
it's why didn't they treat it properly? I don't understand. Well, I do
Because-
understand, obviously.
Because look at the thing about Davros, right? He's like,
Yeah.
I can't make a villain in a wheelchair, because part of woke isn't just like marginalizing Western mainstream values. It's making sacred the marginalized. It's putting them up on a pedestal, and it's a very unreal. You know, any group has its great people and its assholes. It doesn't matter how you divide them up. And there's some
Yeah.
people that are bad, that are absolute wankers in wheelchairs, and there's amazing people in wheelchairs. But when you pretend they're all one this thing, it just comes across as artificial. And back to what you said, Ian, I don't mind. I see interracial couples in real life. I don't even notice it. But when
Yeah,
they
same here.
all are interracial, again, when they take the small minority and try to convince you that the entire world is that way, that's when it seems really artificial and contrived. And none of us
Exactly.
like contrived storytelling. Our
Yeah.
brains have evolved to like detect and reject that bullshit because it's not healthy for survival.
Well, there was recently, within the last few weeks, there was the results of a study done, and it was basically saying, you know, multi-race couples on screen in adverts, it's on shows and adverts, it's overrepresented in the UK. I think, off the top of my head, I think they said it's something like 52% now.
60.
So 62, is it? Okay. So again, it's like, I got no problem with it, but every now and again, you know, if I see a flipping boring furniture advert for selling a sofa, you know, there's got to be at least 100% white couple there at some point. It has to happen by the law of averages.
There was a chip advert where there was a white family, and the husband was putting chips in his mouth and the little boy was copying him, and they were all white. So it's there. It's just very
not
far
seen
few
that.
between.
I'll record it
Also,
later.
I'd like to ask you guys a question, right? I forgot what the question was. So, right. Do you think this is an insult? Okay. If you wanted to create a female Time Lord, why would you want that female to literally not be original, to literally put him in the skin suit of the Doctor who has been around for over 50 years? Why didn't they just make her Romana?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just make her Romana? So in other words, Romana's the original character. She's a Time Lord as well, just as clever as the Doctor. They could have done that. Why didn't they do that? I tell you why. Because they
I'm a
wanted
big
to
fan of
destroy.
Missy, and she was excellently written.
Yeah, it does double duty. It co-ops the fan base and it deconstructs the original. It's the same reason. Why are you calling this Lord of the Rings? It's got shit fuck all to do with Lord of the Rings. Not only do they want to co-opt the fan base that they think they have captured,
Yeah.
But they want to destroy the, heterosexual white, whatever, the fact they hate us. And so they want to deconstruct all our previous heroes, and they think that they can tow along the fan base with them, but they're finding out that they can't.
I mean, I was just going to say, I agree with Z as well, guys. Michelle Gomez was great as Missy. And at the time, I didn't have a problem with it because for me, in the history of Doctor Who, you've got the Master who is known for stealing bodies and doing what he needs to do to survive. So I thought I can see that working. I could see the Master doing that, nicking a body if he needed to survive. So I was always okay with it. It's just the only thing that I was worried about, and it was like a 5-alarm bell going off in my head, was this is setting the stage for what is to come. And I remember it at the time because I thought, now they've done this, where they going next with it? And sadly, we got to the Capaldi era where you had that comment in, I think it was his penultimate story where he says he was a little girl and then kind of jokes it off. And then you thought, okay, they're definitely setting the stage now for what is to come. And then we got the destruction of Who within a short period after that.
Yeah, the sad fact is that had they brought back Romana and, bring me some Lala Ward and Mary Tam, holy crap, they would have brought all the fan base with them. They would have had a hit. Everybody who loves Doctor Who would have given that show a chance. And then you could have had Doctor Who, and you could have had the female Time Lord show, an original character in its own. But they have to, what is it? Evil can't create, it can only destroy. They have to tear down the things that we love. It's not enough to bring in representation. They have to eliminate what they see as a grievance of the past. It's a redress. So not only do you have to fix what you think the problem is, but you have to destroy what you've decided is problematic.
But what if you were the problem? And that's the thing. It's Russell
never
T Davies. He's back again. He still is the problem.
Yeah, and everybody knows that with him and the BBC. Yeah.
It's staggering, isn't it? That, well, again, it's not staggering actually, because it kind of goes back to what you said a few minutes ago, Ian. The BBC and Bad Wolf were all in cock a hoop with this. So Russell T Davies, for them, regardless of how it's tanked, is seen as a golden boy for them because he can do no wrong. So that's why he's getting another go at it. If it was anybody else that didn't think along the same lines of them, they'd never be getting another shout at it again. That would be it, done.
They're going with Russell T because he's in line with what they believe the message, basically. There are hundreds and maybe even thousands of people out there that will bite someone's hand off to be showrunner of Doctor Who, or even write for Doctor Who. There are hundreds of people are far more cleverer than Russell T to write Doctor Who, but they went back to him because he's in line with the bluehead people. I mean, this is what's happening. Also, we could talk about how bad Russell T's destroyed the Doctor Who until the cows come home. But the big question is, is that, do you think after 2006 there is a future for Doctor Who, guys?
No. After 2026, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, 26.
Yeah. No. I was going to say, we're time traveling there, mate.
Yeah. Wish we could.
We're the first people on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a future?
No.
The thing that worries me is, as I said at the beginning, it needs 10 years away, and it needs to come back with at least a throwaway line to basically retcon Jodie and Ncuti. But that's not going to happen because I know the BBC now, and I know that they will basically think they see Doctor Who as their IP cash cow, and they will milk it, and they will milk it even though it's unresponsive on the ground. That's what the BBC are going to do. And I just think it's already severely damaged. I would argue it's at a point where it can't be repaired now because of everything that they've done, and also going back into the past of the history of the show as well. I would think if someone does decide to bring it back at the BBC, you're just going to get it diluted further and further, and it's just going to be even further away from what it used to be.
It's
They
you know
have
what,
to,
right?
They have to retcon the timeless child, or none
They
of
do.
this will
Do you
ever
know what,
work.
right? Ista and Z could guarantee, if they were in charge, 10 million people watching the first episode. Anyone can guarantee 10 million people watching it if you gave us Doctor Who, which you're not.
Never going to
Yeah.
happen, though, is it?
Hey,
But
No.
what about me? You're saying I couldn't guarantee us Doctor Who.
Nah,
You know,
not
you
you,
kept me
mate.
out of that one, mate.
Not you.
now, you guys already have an audience. Has everyone here seen Babylon 5?
Yeah.
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 Okay, so you know who Bester is.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
as Bester is Russell T. Davis. He genuinely thinks he's the good guy. Not only that, he is puzzled and confused, which is weird because he can read minds, why people don't see him as the good guy. And that's Russell T. Davis. He's the problem, but he's also the last person on earth that's going to see himself as the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Russell T knows that he's screwed up, and the BBC knows that they're screwed up. But they're so arrogant and so they're just arrogant. They will not admit that this is a failure. They will not admit it. The BBC will not admit that this Doctor Who version is a complete and utter disaster.
Yeah.
And there's
again,
lies the problem.
And I think someone, Dialect Lives Matter said in the chat, it's Babylon 5 related, but J. Michael Straczynski, has said, he would like a stab at it, but he's not the kind of person that they would look to go for because he's not in the club.
Well, he's not British, though. I think Doctor Who needs to maintain its British. As much as I like Straczynski, I think, like Bond, it has to be kept in the family. It's got to be you guys. Got to be British.
I've actually learned to disagree with that now.
Really?
I think yes,
because of the damage they've done.
If I was in charge of Doctor Who, I would welcome anyone that has the talent to push it forward. Obviously, you got to speak to people and say what ideas have you got to push it forward. And the one person that brings something fresh and new to it, because you, as a creative, you'll know it when you hear it. That is the person you hire. I don't care whether he's Egyptian, whether he's American, whether he's Australian. If he comes with a really good idea, I would hire that guy. Do you know what I mean? Same thing with who plays the Doctor. Yes, people are going to crucify me for saying, it doesn't have to, that the person doesn't have to be British. It would be nice to have someone British play Doctor again. But if someone comes and they audition,
as long as it's Doctor Who,
knock it out the park as the Doctor, man, I'm hiring that person. So if the Americans can do it, they can hire Hugh Laurie to play someone from New Jersey as a Doctor. Then why can't we do it? Do you know what I mean? So
Schwarzenegger for Doctor.
I mean that's because you're
Screw
desperate.
You.
The old Daleks.
Get to the chopper.
Hugh Laurie playing a guy from New Jersey. It's not an icon. It's not a this is your Lord of the Rings. This is your Doctor Who is a British icon. I think if you found somebody good and they weren't British, I'd say go ahead, but only because we're desperate. Only because we're desperate.
It's not that. I actually like it's the same thing with James Bond. If I was in charge of James Bond and I was casting, and I found someone, I was obviously in charge of production, and I found someone that was handsome, had the charisma.
Me
and look, I would hire them. I mean, why would you? I mean, I think gone are the days when you could rely on a British person to take over. There is someone out there, obviously, for James Bond, which is Henry Cavill. Where everybody knows they have to hire them, but they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're going to hire someone that's a bit feminine, a bit young. That's what they're going to do. But that's another story.
At least they need to understand the British sensibilities. Didn't somebody bring up Duncan Jones as a possible candidate? David Bowie's son. He's a filmmaker. He did I think Source Code. Like, he's American, but if you're David Bowie's son, you still get to be British, right? Like,
but the thing is, as I said, right, Doctor Who, right, the person that's hired, he doesn't necessarily have to be a Doctor Who fan, but he has to be someone that knows sci-fi, that has a fresh take on Doctor Who. Like, for instance, one of the best sci-fi TV shows I've seen, which isn't British, was Fringe. I loved Fringe.
Yeah.
Fringe took season 1, and then when they came to season 2, they flipped it on its head, and it was completely different from season 1. And then season 3, it even flipped it even more on its head. But it was still in the same genre. Do you know what I mean? It was still in the same world, but it was a fresh take on every season that happened.
I'm
and
not
that's
a
what they need
fan
to do with
of
the
Mr.
Doctor.
Mystery Box. I'm not a fan of Mystery Box JJ there.
No,
but
it started off as Mystery Box and it became something completely different season 1, 2, and 3. So
in my opinion, I would go even further. I've said this before. I actually think that I would actually be happier if Doctor Who now was sold to another, large production company, and it was taken away from the BBC, because for me, the BBC have lost all respect to basically make good Doctor Who after what they've done for the last decade or so. What I would be inclined to do is, it might get worse, it might get better, but if you had them out there like your Amazons of this world and people like that, they may do a better job with it. I think we're in that position now where it's like, who's the worst? Who's the worst devil? I would say the BBC's the worst now.
Ian told me there are no UK production houses that aren't just as bad. It's not like ITV would be any better. So
no, you're
I
right.
Suppose it would have to be somebody overseas.
It would.
I wouldn't pick Amazon though. Ugh,
but the thing is, though, now it's open, as the door's open for Amazon or Netflix to come in and pay half the money that Doctor Who needs. I mean, I don't mind Netflix, but Amazon's definitely going to woke it up. Definitely. I mean, Netflix is up and down with the woke, isn't it? Depending on who they hire. And also, Netflix is well known for leaving the creatives alone and let them get on with it rather than butting in all the time like Amazon. I mean, Apple would be good as well if they got the right showrunner. If Apple wanted
Paramount's
to put money
a player under new
Paramount
ownership,
too, right? Well, yeah, we'll see anyway. We'll see.
I'd love to see Taylor Sheridan take on Doctor Who, man. That could be freaking amazing.
He got kicked out of Paramount, didn't he, recently?
No, he's leaving.
He's gone to Universal.
Leaving.
Yeah, he's going on to greener pastures. No, Paramount would never kick out the Golden Goose, man. In fact, there's a lot of criticism towards them for not trying more to hold on to them.
Interesting.
I just there's been all kinds of reports for months and months. Russell T Davies is gone. Doctor Who is, there's not going to be a season 3, but here we are. It's been announced by the BBC. He's coming back at Christmas. Do you think this is a one and done? Do you think this is him basically wrapping things up in a bow, or he's being told to clean up his mess with Billy Piper and then someone else is going to take it on? Again, caveat I would say is what I said at the beginning. Whoever takes it on from him is going to be an acolyte of Russell T Davies. So it's not going to improve anything. But do you think that there is a season 3 after this? Or do you think that they are basically, that's just a puff piece where they're saying, oh, there's a season coming, we'll announce it soon, just to try and keep people calm and died down?
The thing is, if it came back as a season 3 and they didn't retcon the Jodie era and the Shooty era, then it's done for. Now, the Shooty era belongs to Disney. According to Dan at Type 40, the Shooty character, the Shooty Doctor, and the 14th, is it the 14th, the David Tennant one? They do not belong to the world of the BBC Doctor. Their rights is owned by Disney. So,
that's good.
In other words, Shooty's gone.
Throw it in the sea. Box it, throw it in the sea.
You're never going to see him again. That's fantastic news.
That's fantastic.
You've made my evening.
Well, was it? I mean, obviously give the credit to Dan Hadley, obviously. But what was I going to say? So the only person you have to retcon is the Jodie era, because the Jodie era was absolutely awful, and it destroyed. It was the beginning of the destruction of Doctor Who. So just retcon that, and we'd be fine, in my opinion. But they're not going to do that.
We've also, guys, we've got just just coming onto the show now, we've got Brendan from the Sense Sphere. He's got some sources and they've given him an update following this announcement. So he's going to pop in and just let us know what they've said. And welcome, Brendan. Good to see you.
Listen, if I knew Brendan was coming on, I would have left. Anyway, hello, Brendan. How are you?
Hey, mate.
Good to see you all. Good to see you all, and it's going well. I've just raced up the upstairs, but yeah, good to catch you all. And interesting news. Where do you
what's
start?
the latest? Yeah. So what's the latest?
Well, of
you've
course.
heard?
Yeah, I mean, I was busy on some silly boat in the middle of the Adriatic, and then I got this news, and then I was, texting all the sources, going, "What the hell's going on?" And it's not what we'd heard before, was it? About RTD had gone and all the rest of it. And what the hell's he doing back? So immediately got onto them. But they are saying it truly is a tidy up job. The BBC thought this is the only way they can save face, save reputation, and try and heal all the mess before they try and sell it to a future streamer.
Good luck.
And let's be honest, RTD, he sowed the seed. He stuck Billy Pipe at the bloody end as She-Hulk. And of course, that gave the opportunity for them to say, come and save us. RTD, can you come and do it? One last time. But they're going to have so much oversight, John, so much oversight. They're going to be right on his shoulder.
I mean, again, that's a positive. The trouble I've got with it is the fact that I was saying a few minutes ago, I don't know if you heard, but I just think that whoever takes his place is going to be an RTD acolyte. So you're going to get more of the same. It's going to be the same club.
It's going to be a bit of a poison chalice at this point.
Yeah.
So, Brendan, what you're saying means they know that they fucked up, that they realize how much damage they've done. I'm not sure I totally believe that. I think they think they're on the side of the angels.
Yeah.
Don't say these things out loud for the BBC. They're pretending.
also, Brendan, right? Do you see that it's very similar to Star Wars? So Roundhead came in and destroyed Star Wars, and then they called back JJ, the original guy from the to clean up his mess. Right, but the difference here is they called back the same person that made the mess in the first place to clean up his mess. So it's like, it's weird, isn't it? When you think about it, it's very mirroring.
It is. Look, I know where we all stand on RTD, but in one respect, if you've made a bloody mess, you come and sort it out. He knows this is to save the reputation of the program, himself, the lot. Remember when he did that speech recently, John? You came on mine and we were talking about his self-censorship thing, remember?
Yeah.
Well, why was he so angry, John? Because as my source was saying, they're going to be on his back over this Doctor Who special script.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, that's a good thing, but it also makes me laugh that the fact that's what they should have been doing right from the first moment. It's oversight, just like, all walks of life. We all do jobs, we have oversight from people, but clearly they just, again, this is a guy that made the statement when season 1 was coming along, just paraphrasing, but saying, you've got to be a brave person to say no to me. I mean, personally, my view is unchanged. I still think it's good someone has said to him, you've got to clean up your mess. But that's for me, and going vulgar for a second, that's the equivalent of going, there's a big bit of dog poo there. We want you to clean that up. So we're ready for the bigger bit of dog poo to come down the future.
Well, the other thing they said, John, is that as part of this clearing up the mess is to end cleanly the whole 2005 revival era. And so basically no baggage, get rid of the Billy thing, get rid of the David Tennant weeding in Donna Noble's garden mess, get rid of this Sledgehammer Fantasy TARDIS mess. Let's have a clean break, and then we can go and try and find a future streamer. I've heard loads of names out there, Banjay being one of them, who's made a movie of Peaky Blinders.
All right.
So basically, you know, it would be much easier for the BBC if he, since he caused the mess, since he wrote these stupid narrative arcs, sorts them out cleanly, throws a few Daleks at it, maybe has Susan in so she gets a final finale, and that's that. Billy Piper, David Tennant, they merge, they kiss, they do all that crap, and then they leave.
Yeah, I mean the Susan thing for me, I don't want him anywhere near Susan, Doctor's granddaughter. I think, considering his track record, I don't want him having any touch to the classic era Doctor Who. I think he should just be, like you say, he should basically have, you know, two angels on his shoulders basically every day at every moment, basically saying, right, let's have a read of that. What have you put? You know, like you're at school and you've been naughty, you know. Yeah, exactly.
So how's that going to help, John? How's that going to help? The people that are will be looking over his shoulder are the people that are the same ilk, aren't they? So they'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. You want to make the Doctor dance in a gay bar? Yeah, I agree with that. Do you know what I mean? So what difference did it make? Do you know?
But the thing is, and again, I don't know this, but I'm assuming these people might be doing it because their heads might be on the block as well, potentially. So they are. It's a self-serving model that's going on. I'm sure, you know, that they want to keep their jobs. I mean, you know, Ian, you know the industry more than I do. But you know, self-preservation, isn't it? A lot of it, I would assume. In certain circles.
Yeah.
So
they thought,
I don't know. Go on.
Have they thought about bringing someone like Paul Cornell back in? You know, who wrote. He writes novels. He wrote one of the best episodes of the, you know, Tennant era ever.
Human Nature, Family of Blood.
Yeah, Family of Blood. Like, why don't they go back and find somebody who, you know, did a phenomenal episode or two or had a little mini run and who's not part of that club and bring them in? Why are you bringing the guy who broke it in to fix it?
Well, you had Rob Shearman make a very sensible few comments a couple of weeks ago, who wrote Dalek, you know, that he adapted from his Big Finish audio. But what did the execs at Bad Wolf do, or Jane Tranter? She basically attacked him. So,
well, one of the reasons why they bring in back Russell T to fix the mess is that they want to save face. If they hide someone new, then it'll be like, oh, so you didn't like what he wrote. Do you know what I mean? So it's
admission of failure.
Yeah. Ian, I was told that it also tidies up a few of the legal issues, because once this special is done, it means they can separate Disney, Bad Wolf, BBC legally.
Good.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And those are a bunch of the moving pieces that we never really get to see.
Yeah.
But the thing, like when she came out and attacked Shearman, like those are the kind of things that make me wonder if this could possibly work. But I kind of do see the point contractual wise, why it has to be this way.
Yeah. Again, right, Doctor Who, I think it's dead personally. As I said, right, unless the whole rhetoric of the BBC changes in the next 5 years, we're still going to get the same crap. We really are. And it's a shame, really, because Doctor Who's beloved by thousands, maybe even millions around the world, and they've literally destroyed it. They deliberately went out of their way to destroy it. And there's no gray area there. That's what they did. What else can anybody do now? You know, I think it's just let it die personally. But there you go.
Yeah, again, you guys know my feelings on it. I think, you know, being a lifelong Doctor Who fan, it is painful. But I made my peace a few years ago when Jodie was announced as a Doctor. So I'm kind of like, I want it to go away for quite a while. If it came back in my lifetime where the culture had changed so that it was back to a bit of sensible production, you know, and sensible people involved in productions that, you know, would bring in the most talented people, regardless of what they believe personally, I would have more hope for it. But again, it does still strike me as they'll do this fix. This is a classic BBC for me. They'll do the fix to basically go, we need you to wrap this up because it's a mess. And then they'll create a further mess if they bring it back. That's what they do.
I was told, John, that this is the classic how to bury bad news. They've had to delay saying Disney have left. Remember, they didn't want to officially say it.
Yeah.
We were all wondering whether it was going to be after the spin-off, and that's why they kicked it into the long grass. What they've done now is they've buried the bad news with good news, they think. Right? They think they're good news.
Yeah,
They think it's
they
good
think.
news.
Yeah, it looks like bad news on top of bad news, but I get it.
Yeah.
I know.
A shit sandwich.
I did have one idea. It's a small thing, but I just thought, like, if I were in charge, I would do Henry Cavill as the Doctor, Sydney Sweeney as the companion, and Planet of the Nude Slave Girls would be the name of the special. Just
Death by
throwing
Snoo
it-
Snoo.
Lots of nudity. Just throwing
In
it out.
IMAX.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
That would be amazing. I honestly think that again, right, if they bring it back, they really need to go back to formula. They really do. Go back. Look, right. The one thing, if they did bring it back, the one thing I would insist on if I was a showrunner is to not have any other Doctor be in this season. No other Doctor. I don't care who they are. No David Tennant as special guest appearance. No other Doctor. If I had to, at a push, I'd get Paul McGann, but that's it.
Yeah.
No other references to what happened in the past, because it needs to stand on its own, doesn't it? It really does need to stand on its own as a sci-fi Doctor Who show, and I think that's the only way to do it. Bring fresh ideas in, bring a new writers in, bring some really good actors in, and just move on from there. If they keep going back and member berries and all that, they're never gonna come off the platform.
I think this is why they said they were worried, actually, Ian, that if they ended it on the reality wall with all the mess of that, considering Ncuti left early and suddenly Billy appears and all that stuff, and then there's going to be a spin-off, as you know, they thought this is the worst place to try and sell Doctor Who to a new streamer. Just the worst place. So why don't we try and, okay, RTD, back, but you're on your best behaviour, and we can sort this out. They think. But the other thing is, Ian, and this is classic BBC, they're thinking that they can do some great publicity about this, get the tabloids being positive about Doctor Who rather than talking about Ncuti's knees and stuff like that. No?
I don't know, mate.
Well, the other thing that they would have to address if they do a new season as well would be, in like the Fifth Doctor, when he became the Doctor and regenerated, and he was inside the TARDIS in Castrovalva, and he found his new outfit. In there, they'd have to go into the cloakroom, and they'd have to get rid of all Ncuti's kinky stuff before they got him an outfit.
Mask, no.
Yeah.
That's all.
What?
That's all that's there is kinky shit, man. The guy never wore a normal shirt.
But they can't do that. They can't do that because it belongs to Disney, doesn't it? All that stuff belongs to Disney, so they can't.
Mind you, part of what the mass source was saying is it is possible Disney just says, do you know what? You can have it. You can have those 2 years. Well, Disney do not want to own those 2 years at all. Because I was wondering about the back catalogue, but they really don't. They want to dislocate from it completely.
I don't blame
them. I mean...
So Disney owns all the kinky shit? Like they're going to show up in the Tangled remake or something? Really,
it'll end up in the Acolyte season 2 if they do that one, won't it?
Oh, my God.
I was going to say about this announcement about the Disney deal is over. It does sound very... very carefully presented to the public. It's PR 101, because I think Disney were probably saying, you either make the announcement or we will. And I think the BBC wanted to put their own spin on it to basically say, thanks very much, Disney. We've had a hell of a ride. Thanks for the alleged $100 million that we spanked down the road. But we'll move on as friends. But I just think it was managed by the BBC to put it out as opposed to Disney, because I don't think Disney would have been so positive. They might have just gone, yeah, we're no longer in partnership with the BBC on Doctor Who. See ya.
Yeah. Can I address the elephant in the room? When you're too woke for Disney, you've got a fucking problem.
Yeah, exactly. You know, at least that's a positive that RTD will probably never ever get a gig at Disney. That's one silver lining that I'll
I
take.
approve that message.
Yeah.
But it's funny, right? I mean, I stopped watching after the Christmas one where Doctor Who was talking rope, would you believe? Anyway, I stopped watching, but I saw clips on YouTube. And then, right, how could anyone, right? I just know the title because I never saw the episode, Space Babies. How could anyone think that that title or that story is any good? What the
Yeah.
hell? Do you know what I mean? It says everything about that era, doesn't it? Space Babies. I saw a clip where I think they were making the visual effects of the baby's mouths moving or something. I mean, what the hell? This is never Doctor Who.
Yeah, he
I mean,
said
I
it
think-
enough times during the episode too, man. He must have said it like 80 times. Space babies.
I mean,
Why?
Brendan, I know you got to hop off in a sec, but you know, your source at the time, I think, said that, or one of your sources said that basically Disney were out after the first out at Space Babies, weren't they? They basically said no, that's it.
Yeah, I'm gathering lots of demographic data and ratings data at the moment, but basically, Space Babies, content-wise, there was a bit of a panic, which is what the hell. There was a trust in RTD since he'd done such a good job, they felt, in the first era, and so there was actually a trust. And when they saw what was being produced, there was panic, there was concern. And I think that they talked about the tonal inconsistencies. They talked about their, their data they were getting from all across the world from their streaming platforms was basically saying this is not actually engaging with any demographic on a large scale. It's just hitting various ones sporadically. It's just not working. And basically, out of all the sci-fi shows out there, it was in the lower levels. It was just not grabbing the public. But when they saw Space Babies, Church on Ruby Road, remember, seeing him in his underpants. I mean, we were all talking about, I'm going back to Castrovalva. I'm going back to, and you've got the Doctor thinking, what's he going to wear and all the rest of it. And, you can see the scarf, you can see various things. But when it comes to the 15th Doctor, there'll just be a pair of Y fronts, white. That'll be it.
Seriously, it is bad. As I said, right, the first time I saw him dancing in a gay bar, that was it. I was like, This can't be good. This can't be good.
Wasn't the Space Baby ship powered by baby farts or something?
Yeah.
It's like, who in the hell is that going to engage with?
It's Garbage Patch Kids, basically. He's just ripping off at that point, isn't it? It's just it's unintelligent production, and it's scripting, and I'm not even a script writer, but I just want intelligent science fiction again. But I know I'm not going to get it.
You've come to the wrong place, buddy boy.
Yeah. If you like Space Babies, wait for the sequel at Christmas 2026.
Space Babies. And then there was that episode about him stepping on a bomb or something like that, and he couldn't move, or somebody told me about that one, and I saw a clip from it on YouTube, and it's just, and he was wearing some orange gear, or I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. Seriously.
I mean, again,
bye.
Yeah. Brendan's gone, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, he's just got back from his holiday, so he jumped on. So thanks very much, Brendan, for jumping on.
Yeah, cheers, Brendan.
Yeah. So, anyone else? He's just popped back in. Hello.
It's the hotel Wi-Fi. Sorry.
I thought he jumped off.
Yeah. Just thought you got AWOL, mate. But you've got to head off in a minute, haven't you? Is that right?
I do. I'm supposed to be on a family holiday, and I've come right up here because I wanted to share the news with you lads. You're nailing it tonight. There's a lot to get opinionated about. I wish I could stay for longer, but honestly, I can hear what you're saying, and I think we all pretty much think the same thing, don't we?
We do.
We do.
We do.
We do. Yeah.
It's
But
such a
have a
shame.
good rest of your holes, mate. And thanks for coming on. It's appreciated.
Okay, see you, lads. Hope it
Take
it
easy.
See ya.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. He's still here.
Yeah, he's trying to log off.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah,
thank God.
Nah.
Thank God.
Yeah, bless
no,
him.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be back. He'll be back in a minute. You know, get his Wi-Fi back. So
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think the way they're spinning it to make it sound like good news, this isn't good news for anyone that likes Doctor Who, because it's not Doctor Who, is it? It's just to be continued, the Russell T Davies grooming project. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah, sorry, go for it.
So I would say if there's contractual issues, that's one thing. But if they're still at the point where they're trying to save face, and that's why they're rehiring him, then they're not desperate enough. You need to be desperate enough where you're going to go out and get the best person for the job, regardless of any other factors.
I agree. Totally agree. And also, right, they don't need Russell T to clear the mess up. All they need to do is the first episode starts off with, Doctor, I let you go. And it's Peter Bacaldi in the TARDIS. He regenerates into someone else, and we know we're starting back from there. That's all they need to do.
I had the shittiest dreams, man. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He regenerates into Clara.
That crab on his face. That crab. Oh, what a horrible dream. So yeah. So there you go. So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's what they need to do.
And if there's any show that lends itself to being fixed and retconned, it's one about time travel, man. All I have to do is go back in time and stop Jodie Whittaker from ever regenerating, and problem solved. They could do it in 2 minutes.
They could. That's what I'm saying. They don't need Russell T to come back and fix this nonsense, because Doctor Who's a time travel show. It doesn't have to go linear. If it wants to not go linear, then it can go backwards. So do you know what I mean? And just make up some crappy excuse that the timeline of Jodie and Ncuti got destroyed by the Master or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
like that,
what you could do before he erases them from history, what he could do is do like in the film Scarface with the helicopter. You know, you could tie them to the TARDIS console and then boot Ncuti and Jodie out in a multi-doctor special as they go out. And then just to fix it, they could easily do it because they've established this already. You could have the crack reappear because that erased people from history.
And and if you're going to do a fractured timeline or a dream, then you don't need to resolve the unresolved plot lines because they don't count to begin with.
Yeah. I think the trouble I've got, again, it's with him coming back and with them carrying on as they carrying on regardless, because that's what's going to happen. It's not just the main series as well, but as a Doctor Who fan, it means all of the other stuff is still going to be tainted as well. So where me personally, I used to love the Big Finish audios, and I stopped buying them quite a few years back because of the LGBTQ stuff that they started adding into the Big Finish audios. But they did it to Doctor Who magazine as well. They've done it to the novels. So everything is tainted, and I don't see that going. I think they are gonna, well, like what's happened with Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. They would rather go, well, if it's not going to work, we would rather burn it to the ground. That's their mentality.
The hunt for Ben Solo, a Doctor Who story.
But it is weird. It's look, you know what's interesting about Doctor Who, right? Before Disney, before any of this stuff started happening, right?
Yeah.
They must be the most stupidest people in the entire world, right? There's that famous thing they had. Obviously, I can't remember because I'm so old. But do you remember when Tom Baker and Peter Davison, they all appeared at the what's that big huge thing where the BBC had no faith in it and all thousands and thousands of people turned up? What was that called, guys? Remind me. Longleat. Yeah. So the BBC witnesses that, right? And then when it came off the air after Sylvester McCoy messed it up. It came off the air. The merchandise was still selling. Posters were still selling. T-shirts were still selling, right? And they still didn't get the memo of how important this show is to the BBC. They still didn't get it.
It's mad, isn't it? I mean, guys.
Sorry,
guys,
Z was
and
going to say something there.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you jump in, Z.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Even in the world, like the pole figures. Oh, I love those little figures.
They're great, weren't they?
In these wilderness years, the only stuff you're getting now is classic merch.
Yeah, 100%. And I think when you talk, exactly right, when you talk about the Wilderness Years 1 from 89, you're right. There was so much stuff to buy. You had the VHSs, the novels, the Doctor Who magazines, the like you said, the toys. It was great. You know, you wanted it on the telly, but there was still stuff coming out that kept you happy.
Yeah, there's a very big fan following, but now all the goodwill is dried up.
It's gone. Yeah, and I don't think that's coming back. So I think if you have another Wilderness Years, I think it's actually at a point where people will be like, we don't want it back. We remember how rubbish it was when it was last on. I think it's tainted now. It really is.
But John, I think you can bring it back. But I'm just questioning the decisions that the BBC made. Like, for God's sakes, you had Peter Bacaldi, who was at that moment riding high, and they decided to do a spin-off. What did they do? Did they do a spin-off with Paul McGann? No. They did this thing called Class, which was absolute shit. Right? Who had that stupid idea when you've got Paul McGann in the wings?
Yeah.
Who decided I'm not going to do Paul McGann because he's so popular and people want to see him again? No, I'm going to create this new thing called Class with upper class kids. That's just absolute rubbish. And no wonder why it failed. And then even now they're going, so Shooty didn't fail. Should we do a spin-off? What should we do a spin-off on? Should we do a Paul McGann spin-off? No. Let's do this one where nobody understands what's going on and have the fish in the sea and talk about climate change and all that nonsense. They are stupid. I'm sorry. How many times could you get it wrong? All the people that are involved in Doctor Who are fucking stupid. That's what
nothing sells toys like climate change, right? Like,
I've got my Greta action figure. I don't know about you guys.
As if the overnights weren't bad enough. A good way to track the show's popularity is through merchandise sales. And I was trying to get specific figures, but I guess there's a big UK toy seller that's saying that the toy merchandise sales peaked during the Matt Smith era. And since then, they've seen an overall decline of 20 to 25% per year, all through the Capaldi and Whitaker. And I mean, there's hardly any merchandise at all for Shooty. So
I mean, Gavin Blackburn points out that the Sarah Jane Adventures was the best spin-off, and you know what? It was for kids, but I must admit,
but linked to classic.
Yeah, when I watched the Sarah Jane Adventures, I wasn't enamored by it because it was quite cheap and it looked like it was for kids and stuff. The only episode I really liked was one when David Tennant turned up and two when Matt Smith turned up. And that wonderful scene when he was talking to Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe said, you abandoned me. And he's like, did I? And then he's like, I saw you do this and I saw you do that. And, you know, I was looking out for you. And, you know, what a great scene. What a fantastic, great scene!
I also think there was a great episode as well where you had Nick Courtney come back as the Brigadier.
Yes,
that was a lovely touch, and I think that was at a point for me when, as much as I love Capaldi as the Doctor, and I wanted Capaldi for such a long time as a Doctor, but the writing let him down. But I think we had got to that point, especially when the 50th was coming, and we had the 50th. It had peaked at that point, and I think we were so lucky to get Matt Smith, because when you talk about that episode with Joe Grant, what was so good about Matt Smith in that episode was he's talking to Joe, but I could actually see Pertwee's third Doctor when he's speaking. You know,
that was
he was that good.
Yes, he was, and it is pretty. It was a pretty good episode as well. Obviously it was a bit kiddie-ish when obviously the black kid was talking like him and all that stuff. It was all a bit kiddie-ish, and I don't like the costumes. There was things that look like ostriches or something like that, and you can
Yeah,
tell
well,
some
they're
guys
vultures,
there.
weren't
Yeah,
they?
I don't know, vultures. They
Yeah,
look so kiddified, and I just like, no, I can't be watching this. But as I said, right, it's overdue, and it's too late now. Paul
Yeah.
McGann spin-off should have been made 10 years ago. It should have been made instead of all this rubbish that they're doing. Oh my God.
But I will say, after what we got the last few years, guys, those vultures, I would kill to have them in the current iteration.
Yeah, to have a baddie that well made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
The thing is, they just continue to double down on every single bad idea. Like, even look at the sonic screwdriver of the shooty era. It's
God.
Like, if you're not even going to pay attention and get the little details right, you're losing the big picture. And that's why, if this is their idea of good news, I would hate to see the BBC's idea of bad news. But I have little faith they can pull this off just because of all the other stuff that came before it. I just don't believe in any of this.
Sorry, go ahead, John. Go on.
No, you go, mate. It's all right. Yeah, go for it.
I was just saying, right, as people hate me for this as well. Even when they brought Paul McGann back and that stupid 5-minute shit that they did with him,
you were going to say this.
I hate it. You know why I hate it? Because he deserved better. He deserved an episode, right? And throw in this cheap nonsense because it was obvious, right? I don't care what anyone says, right? It was obvious that Moffat forgot about that doctor. And at the last moment, he went, shit, quick, the BBC, can you give me a bit of money, please? It was so cheap. It was like, it's so annoying.
I'm paraphrasing, but I always remember what Moffat said at the time. And he said, when he cast John Hurt, he said he didn't believe that Paul McGann's Eighth Doctor could be that doctor in the Time War. And I agree with you, Ian, because if you see McGann, what he did in the TV movie, but again, you don't like them, but I have his early Big Finish audios, which are great.
Yeah,
he can easily carry that 50th Paul McGann. He's so good.
If Chris Eccleston couldn't make it for the 50th, it should have been Paul McGann, right?
Yeah,
and they kept saying the crap that they kept saying. Oh, John Hurt's a movie star. John Hurt is not a movie star. John Hurt is an actor, right? And he's been in movies. Movie stars is Brad Pitt. Maybe George Clooney, I don't know. Julia Roberts, they're movie stars, but John Hurt is not a movie star. Therefore, it wouldn't have made any difference if John Hurt was in it. If Paul McGann was in it, oh my God, that would have been an instant classic, more of a classic than it is now. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, again, when you go back to the sonic screwdriver as well, and how they changed it with Shooty's iteration, so it looked like an insole for a shoe.
I thought it looked like a cowpole spoon.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. What
and it's like, again, what was the cobblers that RTD came out with at the time? What was it he said? The original sonic screwdriver looked too much like a weapon. Yeah. And then what does he do in the finale? He actually gets Shooty shooting a giant desiccated alien that's meant to be Omega, skeleton. So he talks out of his arse all the time. And again, do you know what I'm struggling with the most? When we get nearer to Christmas 2026, we're going to have that insufferable arsehole doing the PR again and talking up himself and saying, oh, it's going to be a hoot. Every time he says something like it's going to be a hoot, full well it's going to be a complete pile of bollocks. They should basically be putting up warning signs like you get in the road, basically say, do not cross here, do not watch, because it's going to be that bad.
It's going to be David Tennant. It's going to be David Tennant in Christmas special. It's not going to be Shooty, obviously, because Shooty doesn't want to do it anymore, and I don't blame him. He was rubbish anyway. And it's not going to be Jodie, because if it's Jodie, then nobody would watch it. It's going to be David Tennant. He's still under the impression that David Tennant will drag people to see Doctor Who. For one, will not see a David Tennant Doctor Who anymore.
No. That could actually be a good indicator, though, when he starts doing PR. If he sounds actually reasonable and he doesn't go fly off the handle, that would be an indication that they actually do have significant oversight and he's on a leash and they're controlling him. If he comes out like he usually does, then we know it's just all going to be bollocks.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll be 10 minutes in where he suddenly has to talk about pronouns or something again, like he did in his last outing, you know. So again, I got no hope for this whatsoever. And again, it's the same old scenario, just like you get with Star Trek at the moment, where they keep throwing out these series and they keep expecting to get different results by pushing their ideology. And again, sorry, people aren't buying it. It's garbage.
That bit at the ending, right? You know, the special with David Tennant and Catherine Tate. The bit at the ending where Catherine Tate and the guy dressed up like a woman says, "It's because we're women. You know, you don't understand, Doctor." It's like, wait a sec, you're a guy dressed in a woman's clothes.
Yeah.
So that how is that referring to you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like maybe you wouldn't be so high and mighty if I couldn't see your bollocks through your dress, mate. All right.
Well, he did say male presenting. So, you know, regardless of anything else, he is a female presenting man, which of course is even more ridiculous. But
yeah. Good to see Professor R2 in the chat tonight. Good to see you, my friend.
Binary, non-binary. Go fuck yourself.
I want you to take over, Z. I want you to be showrunner.
I actually agree with R2. It's the hope that will kill us. You know, I'm not hoping on anything. I know it's dead anyway. And if they bring it back with the BBC still in charge and it's still under this rhetoric, it's just going to be awful. So unless they hire me, of course, and give me the final cut on everything, it would be awesome. You know?
And I've said it before.
A hot lesbian.
Absolutely.
Baywatch Nights and Who. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think there's a
go on.
I think there's a 50% chance that this never happens. Because by the time next year rolls around, like the BBC isn't doing well financially. Is that correct? Like
apparently so.
Yeah, they may not have the money to advance toward this, and by that time their panic may have worn off, and I don't know, they're going to be shopping it around, so maybe it won't even matter. But I'm not convinced this is happening, especially after you see the drop in viewers for that.
They don't need a lot of money to make Doctor Who. They need a decent budget. They don't need all that money they spent on the Shui era. They didn't need it. They really didn't need it. Seriously, what's happened to this? I'm pretty sure we can find another quarry. Rock quarry to shoot in. I'm pretty sure I think they're around somewhere. You know what I mean? You don't need all that money to make Doctor Who. Seriously, you just got to have good writing, solid writing. That's what you got to have.
Well, you look at all the garbage the BBC make now, and you could easily just shutter some of those productions down. Interstellar RuPaul Drag Race Night or whatever it is called on BBC Three. You get rid of all of that, cobblers, and you've got some money saved. It's not about, again, this goes back to classic Doctor Who. It's not always about the most money. It's about having the best writers, the best actors, and a story, and the best production team. That's it. You do that, you strike gold. And I still think one of the biggest mistakes they got into was, and we've talked about it before, guys, but instead of, when it came back and they were making it for a British audience because it was that quaint British science fiction show, they then suddenly had that success in the Matt Smith era where it hit Netflix in the US and BBC America and it went big. They thought, now we've got to focus our shows on the global audience. That's where they went wrong. They should have focused staying on the UK audience, and it still would have been a success. The virtue signaling, get rid of
UK families. That's who they should have aimed the show at.
Yeah, because that's what the Americans loved about the Matt Smith era. That it was made for the UK and it was made for UK audience, and that's what that got them attracted in the first place. And then they decide to, we're gonna try, they're a bunch of idiots. All of them are a bunch of idiots. They're idiots.
It's like Robert Payne says here: decent budget, 1980s size TARDIS interior, and good writing. I mean, again, when they brought it back with the Disney money, I thought that interior was awful. I still don't like it. I just think it was bland. Yeah,
looks like a gay disco.
Yeah, it's not the size of the budget though. It's the fact that, do you want to throw any money at something that is absolutely pointless. But I guess the idea that they finally came to their senses might be a little too much.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so old. I can't even remember what this episode was called. The one with the killer robots with Tom Baker.
Narrow
and
it
Lena.
down.
Robots of Death.
Robots of Death. Right. Look
Yeah.
at that one. Right. All it was a set. It was like a detective story, wasn't it? To find out what was going on. All it was just solid sets. You know, like this shot, this, that, the corridor, whatever. Right. And they weren't running around. They weren't firing laser guns. They had to solve the mystery. Yeah, you could do Doctor Who like that. Obviously, the quality, and also with AI, there's so much you can do with AI when it comes to visual effects. I'm pretty sure that would cut the budget down to a reasonable size.
Yeah,
it's just that they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
Well, if they were able to do that, we wouldn't be in the position we're in now in the first place.
That's true.
I still argue, because I watched back the Matt Smith era and the Capaldi era, and I still argue that I think the effects look better in that era than they did in the entire Shooty run. I really do think they were better. And again, but again, there's a lot of it in the Shooty run that was all green screen, and you could just tell straight away they're stood on a platform. You know, they're stood on the volume.
Volume,
That apparently they're phasing out now. Apparently, because people are cancelling contracts for it.
Well, the reason so artificial.
The reason why is because of AI. Now they realize they can do it with AI, and so it was big. Then now nobody's hiring it. They're putting half price on the volume now with productions. Not even that now. Not even half price. They're desperate for people to come and use the volume. It's crazy, right? It's only been 3 years since it came out.
3 years. Yeah.
Crazy,
I mean, it was. Right? What was it? Where they first used it on Mandalorian, didn't they? And it was like, oh look, we're going back to Tatooine again. Could it be because they want to use the volume again?
As I said, you don't need a lot of money to create a Doctor Who series. All you need is imagination, good solid stories, great actors, good director, good showrunner. That's what you need. It's not about Doctor Who was never about how expensive and huge the sets were. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was never like about that.
No.
At all.
I mean, guys, have you got anything else to sort of add on this monstrosity news that we've heard today about the 5-star idiot coming back to do another episode? I as much as Brendan was saying that sources are saying they're literally going to be keeping a tight eye on him, I don't know. I reckon I could if I was to check it out, I reckon within 10 to 15 minutes there's the first gay nightclub scene again, or he's got the TARDIS lands in some gay bar in 1980s London or something like that. I can see it
at the height of the AIDS crisis.
It's a sin crossover.
Yeah.
That just sounds like another one of those empty studio promises. Yeah, we've got him under control. We're going to keep an eye. Like if he's not a dumb guy, so if he wants to sneak in the bullshit, he'll be able to get it past those idiots.
Do you remember what was that episode called? The one where they were stuck on the spaceship, him and Donna.
You narrow it down.
What was that one called?
What, when it came back?
When it came back. Yeah, when it came back.
I forget the name because it was so awful. But that was the one where with the giant version of them at the end of the universe.
Yeah. So
Yonder.
That's it. That's the one, right? So they had this wonderful robot in there that I thought we were going to see, but it didn't. It was just stuck and didn't do anything. And also, do you remember he thought he was clever and slipped it in when they're talking. He goes, "Oh," the doctor says, "Oh, am I gay now?" Do you know what I mean? Or something along those lines. I'm sitting there watching this show and I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? Really?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How could they not think people are not going to think that?
Well, that was also the story that that they did. They did Isaac Newton as what was it, an Asian man, and it's like he did the childish Mavity comment that he never got rid of. And it's like, how again, look, Ian, let's all ask Ian this, guys. Ian, you do Rebecca Gold, right? you're writing Rebecca Gold. If anyone
Yeah.
was ever to have any input to you and come and you go, well, what have you come up with then? Well, I want Rebecca Gold to say Mavity. You'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Get the hell out.
Yeah,
That's
just
right.
for a laugh. I want to say Mavity instead of gravity.
Yeah. Just shove it.
But the thing is, though, sexuality should never take first place in any story at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Doctor Who, never. They started creeping it in the Bacaldi era and towards the end of the Matt Smith era. That's what they tried to do. We knew it was coming. We didn't think it was going to be this bad, though. You know?
Yeah, I just think I think after all the ashes that are left, we're going to ask this walking pile of pus to actually try and rebuild it. Are we? No, it's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to
happen. You know, right, I find it very hard to believe that anyone would have any faith going forward with this, with what we've just heard today. Can anyone see any light under the tunnel for this?
No. Is anyone looking forward to the Christmas special? No.
No.
I
didn't even watch Wild Blue Yonder.
Maybe there's a sequel and the girl vomits out a star this time, you know, just to wrap it up.
And also, right, there's something about people of that persuasion when they hire actors in their shows. There's something odd about them. Now, Millie is a good-looking girl, but I would never have hired her for this new. I would have got someone hotter. You know?
Yeah. I never liked Catherine Tate. She kind of grew on me, but I always wondered why would they hire someone so ugly to be a companion?
I
hard to look at.
Look, no disrespect to the community. I think it's all to do with being gay. Now, if you're a gay man and you want to hire someone that's, like a hot blonde, that would be your taste, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be extreme like us, who are total heterosexual, right? You'll be in between. So when you look at the girl who plays Millie, she's okay, but she isn't the best of the crop, so to speak. And I'm trying not to be awful here about her, but do you know what I'm saying?
She's not Clara, or she's not Karen Gillan in the 11th hour.
No, she isn't.
In a policewoman's outfit.
I don't think she's a gay man's idea of hot either. I think what she is the idea of a compromise, because they didn't really want to get somebody very beautiful.
Do you think so?
Yeah, listen, gay men know what's. I mean, look at all of the hairdressers and fashion designers. Like, they know what's hot until they sort of go off the freaky side.
Do you think
of the
so?
rails.
Okay, so
Millie isn't freaky.
I present you with Superman Returns. Did you see that costume that was on that actor?
The one they had to airbrush out his package.
Now, I don't know about you, but small boots and a tiny little shorts and a small S on his chest. I don't know. And the director was gay. What can I say?
Yeah, but that's a man.
I don't know.
Different.
But no, it's the same thing. What I'm saying is they have a different perspective on what's good looking or what works. So I wasn't surprised that they cast someone like the girl named Millie, and I wasn't surprised that the costume looked awful in Superman Returns. So
I
always
just saying.
I always thought Millie was somebody who looked hot on paper rather than in reality. No, I'm not kidding. True. That's sort of like she has all the check boxes, blonde hair and blue.
And what did they put her in? What clothes did they put her in? It was just like
potato sacks, the Rose Tico fashion line.
I mean, look at Leela. Look at Karen Gillan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? Those for the dads, weren't they? They were for the dads watching Doctor Who. There's nothing wrong with that. Why they're outlawing good-looking women on screen, I have no idea. As I said, I'm not saying all these people are ugly that I mentioned. I'm just saying that they're just.
I love it how you do that.
What? No,
I love it. I'm not saying they're ugly, but they're ugly.
No. Millie, the girl who plays Millie is not. Is it Millie? Is that a real name? She's not ugly. She's just there's better actresses out there.
Well, as Dalek Lives Matter said, guys, look how Gattis and co depicted British people in League of Gentlemen. Yeah, but maybe we'll get a new series, but with like Bab from Bab's Cabs at the beginning of it, sort of like, the TARDIS. My nipples are like bullets.
As I said, maybe a lot of people get upset about what I said just now, but there is a. You can see it sometimes. It's like,
and the other thing I would say about Millie Gibson is, and you can tell that this was a problem with the entire production about pushing their ideology, because what was it? One of the first things she said was, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but it was, this is going to upset a lot of people, when series 1 came out. And then you had Shooty do his gammons comment, attacking people. You had Russell T Davies constantly saying stuff. You had Tennant. You had Catherine Tate said some things as well. And again, it was all a clique that were basically pushing. If you take the ideology out of it, you then get down to the arrogance of the production, where they felt that they had a bang to rights hit before it even aired, and they were insulting people. We got to season 2, that wasn't the case. And I always say this, if you look at the press tours when they did season 2 with RTD, very, very different. It looks like it's a wake by how they're talking, because they got cocky, they'd insulted a load of people, they told people to go and touch grass, and people did go and touch grass. They didn't come back to it. So, these people aren't just scary by the ideology they push, they're also morons as well.
Absolutely. do any of you guys watch Paul Chatto's channel?
Yes.
Occasionally.
He was a Canadian TV producer back in the 80s, and he talks about what used to go on in meetings when they were casting for TV, and it always boiled out to one thing: men and women alike. And I'm just going to say it. He's like, they meet the people, audition, and he's like, I got an idea for this part, and the head of the studio always goes, is she fuckable? Is he fuckable? Like, and maybe that's something that those guys can't answer, but we're definitely not getting that anymore.
It's not look, right. If you say things like that now, even when I'm directing on set, I have to ask, like usually in the old days, right, going back 5 years, if you were directing something and you were directing really fast and you wanted the person to stand here, you would literally go up to them and just move them, right, stand there. But now you can't touch them. You have to ask, or you have to say, can you move? Because like when you're moving really fast and stuff like that. So if you think about that, for us to say what we just said, if I said that on set, people would be very, very upset, very, very upset. But the problem is that,
Ian.
Yeah, well, the problem is that what they're trying to avoid is the truth. People like seeing good-looking people on screen. They do.
Sells.
And the males like seeing good-looking women. All you got to do is look at Sydney Sweeney selling jeans, for God's sakes, and how that went up. And then you look at someone who's on the cover of Vogue, and the person's huge and fat and looks really unhealthy, and that doesn't sell. I can go on and on and on about how they're ignoring nature. Because let's face it, when males fancy someone, it's always about the way they look first before they get to know the person. That's nature.
Physical attraction. Yeah.
Right. So it makes sense. If you're going to do a film and you've got a lead female or a second lead female, it makes sense for that person to be good looking, unless she's meant to be ugly. Do you know what I mean? And to avoid that in TV shows and movies, you're just asking for a world of hurt.
Yeah, look at Monster. Even when they had the ugly woman, they hired a hot woman to play her.
Absolutely. You're right there.
Yeah, I think I think again, as I said earlier, I think we've got, the rumor is December they're going to be releasing this War Between the Land and the Sea. That's going to show everybody
at the women
what
in
you
there.
can expect. Yeah. Well,
look at the women in there, John. Look at the women in there.
exactly. But the one in it that is actually really hot, who was Martha's sister in, what was it, 2008, 2007, who was smoking hot. They've dressed her up as a sea creature.
Exactly.
You know,
you think these things are done accidentally? It's not. It's done deliberately. Just like Superman Returns and why that guy was wearing pants too small sized for him. Do you know what I mean? Just like that. I'm telling you, it's done deliberately, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at what Lauren Hisrich said when she was casting The Witcher. She goes and says, I didn't want to hire somebody conventionally beautiful, so I picked this lady. How do you think that lady felt? It turns out she's quite attractive, but her character in The Witcher was supposed to be like the most beautiful woman in the world, hypnotically and magically beautiful. And she's like, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to go with someone unconventional.
Yeah,
so, and how do you think the actress felt?
And the flip side of that, guys, as well, is you look at Star Trek Discovery. Are we honestly expected to believe that Tilly, who's overweight, jogs round a deck 3 times a day? You know, no. You know,
only on
I
the way to
started
the canteen.
Yeah, that's why I didn't believe in Peacemaker when Avogadro or whatever the fuck her name. She went out for a walk. The hardest part of that to believe is that she walks. Like,
I mean,
the hardest
all
part
down
was the fact that she outrun that crowd of Nazis.
Yeah, but that she was walking in the first place, I'm saying, was a ridiculous conceit.
I mean, did what you call it? Did Julia Roberts complain when she was doing Ellen Brockovich, where she had to wear those tight shirts that showed her cleavage and stuff like that? Did she complain at the time? No, right? But now she's complaining. You know what I mean? Now all these actors that were working the way they looked when they were younger, they're all like, oh, that was so wrong. It wasn't wrong. It's nature. We fancy people who are good looking. That's it.
Yeah, it's just because they're old now. It's like Scarlett Johansson, same thing. Exactly. Oh, you didn't mind when it worked for you, but now that you're getting near the wall, that's wrong.
Have you ever watched the Avengers movie or even the Iron Man one? They have shots of her ass. There's a bit in it where Iron Man sitting in the donut place. Do you remember? And when she enters, it's just her ass walking towards him. You can't tell me that's not deliberate. You can't tell me that.
Yeah, no.
Or she's in lingerie when they had her tied to the chair.
Exactly.
That's the last time that's going to happen.
This comment from Professor R2 though, jogs around with a bowl of mac and cheese and some French fries tucked in her armpits.
That made me queasy.
Yeah. No, I was going to say you're right. I mean, it's they moan about it now, but they didn't have the principles at the time to say, well, okay, I'm not doing it, because they were happy with the money they were making. Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's just shut up.
I mean, you know, I thought it was a really good idea that they went from, no disrespect to Chris Eccleston. I mean, he's all right looking, but when they went from him to David Tennant, when he was young, he was quite a good looking chap and all the girls fancied him. Even my sisters fancied him as the Doctor. It was the right move to make because you had all these young girls tuning in. And I kid you not, right? And the 50th, I was privileged to be invited to the BAFTA screening through Keith.
Yeah.
And when we went there, the cinema was packed, and the actors were sitting in the front row with no bodyguards or anything like that. No bodyguards. They were all sitting in the front row, and the majority of people that was in that theater was young girls, 16, 17, 18, 20. I swear. We looked to the left, there was a nice girl there. We looked to the right, we were the old fogies in the theater, and that's what it attracted because of David Tennant.
And look what's happened. They've created monsters now.
That's what I'm saying. You know? Why avoid it? If you want your show to be seen, why avoid things like that? You know, I just don't understand the logic behind it. I really don't.
I think the whole point of woke is to deny reality and avoid the truth. So that's why.
Yeah, these are the same people though that decided they couldn't ever have Davros as he looked in the show because people who are disabled are not evil people. Really?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, exactly. I've known a few have been complete arseholes over the years. So it's again, but then what makes me laugh is he then tries to make a point about, I'm going to make it so that everybody thinks about people in wheelchairs, respect to them. But then he puts in a stupid scene with a girl in a wheelchair, two girls in a wheelchair that basically is like Back to the Future, where there's a track of flames because she's gone so fast in her wheelchair. And then he's got the other one who's just a miserable cow. So, the guy contradicts himself all the time as well. And I will say one thing about the Christmas special: it is going to make a lot of monetized YouTube channels a lot of money when that comes out, because they are going to rip it to pieces, without a doubt.
What they don't understand is that any group of people is going to have all kinds in it. I've lived in Japan. I've known members of the Yakuza who were extremely kind people, and I've known Buddhist monks who are assholes. You get all kinds, and no matter what place you're looking at, you're getting all kinds. So to say everybody and anyone in a wheelchair is a saint is absurd.
Yeah, unless you live in a bubble and don't experience life outside of that bubble.
Was Shooty the only doctor that never took on the Daleks?
Yeah, and guys, and Zia, come in on this one as well. But my view about the Daleks, I'm glad we didn't see them, because I'll be honest, from what I saw of that RTD2 era, I didn't actually believe that the Daleks and Cybermen could exist in that universe. It's like night and day, because it's such a fantasy camp universe that he'd created for RTD2. I couldn't ever see a Dalek turn up in it. For me, it just wouldn't have worked. I don't know what you guys think. Yeah. Oh, babes. I mean, so I think our verdict, everybody, is the fact that we don't have any hope that it's going to be good.
No.
Doctor Who is still dead. It's the only way to bring it back, because it's so dead at the moment, would be some sort of necromancy, which they probably will try now in the BBC in Bad Wolf.
I think a nice long hiatus might do it the world of good. 10 years should do the trick.
Yeah.
But I'm
and again,
too old to watch it when it comes back.
Yeah. No. You'll still be around. You'll watch it, and then you'll come on a podcast and go, shit.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah,
go on.
It seems like 10 years is the magic number where you can forget most sins. Yeah. So even us, as jaded and annoyed as we are, 10 years from now, I could see, okay, it's all new people. I could have some hope. Let's see what they do with it. But sooner than that, and it's just going to be a lot of groans.
Yeah.
And as R2 said, it's the hope that kills you.
You need enough time to elapse that the general public has forgotten the shitstorm that came before it.
Do you know what, right? The Doctor needs to be a white male again. He needs to be a white male, and it needs Doctor Who needs to move forward from the Bacaldi era. That's what it needs to do. And if they don't do that, they're done for.
And do you know what? Ian? You're 100% right. And do you know what I find fascinating? Because I agree with you, what you said earlier. They will have Tennant back in this Christmas special.
Yeah,
it's pretty much nailed on for me. But if it wasn't the fact that they are desperate and they need Tennant back for this Christmas one, full well we wouldn't be getting a white male cast as a Doctor again.
We won't.
It just wouldn't happen.
It'll be a black female this time. It'll be a black female. After David Tennant.
Not Joe Martin, please no.
Exactly. After David Tennant is in his Christmas special, he'll fall to the ground and he'll change into a black female. And if he does that, they've lost the audience for good.
Yeah, right. Well, I think
they've lost it now.
Yeah, I think you're right. For people that even would tune in, and the people, and remember when the finale of the last Shooty one went out, so many people, just general people, were writing in and just saying how rubbish it was and how awful it was, and they're sick and tired of the diversity. You're right. If they tune in 5 to 10 minutes into it, you've suddenly got a diversity push. They'll just tune out. They'll go, no, I'm not wasting my time on this anymore. It's rubbish.
Absolutely.
we're sick of the forced diversity. Organic diversity doesn't bother anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, to please everyone, what they should do is do a Romana series as well as a Doctor Who series. Get a white male to play the Doctor. Get Romana to come back. They have an adventure together. She splits. She gets her own series. The Doctor is back. So that everybody BBC can be happy that they've got their diverse, white woman playing a Time Lord. Doesn't have to necessarily play the Doctor. It's an insult, really. It's like saying white females can't have an original character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting idea, actually. Before they bring back Doctor Who, maybe they could try to bring out a really good spinoff. Like you said, the Romana show, maybe another Torchwood, something Doctor Who related that was really good. And that would warm up the audience to the idea that we're back to quality entertainment and good writing.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need it to come back. We need to have fresh ideas. We need to take the Doctor into another direction. And also, we need to get rid of the stupid, crappy logic. Please get rid of the stupid, crappy
sledgehammer TARDISes. Yeah.
Even when Russell T did the 2005 one, there was crappy logic in there. And even when Moffat was doing it, there was crappy logic and things that didn't make any sense, whatever, but they just glossed over it.
If you are
it needs to
dead,
grow up.
then I must be all alive.
Yeah, but that's not just Doctor Who. That's pretty much all of movies and television now. The writers aren't good enough to craft a plot that can hinge on real continuity and logic. So either they make these leaps of absurdity or they have a character act uncharacteristically stupid for a moment in order to, move the plot around. If we get better writing, I think the logic will follow.
I was saying to John a couple of days ago, so The Lodger, which I know Z loves that episode.
Yeah, sure. Anything with James Corden in, I'm going to turn
off. In The Lodger, right?
That guy.
The Doctor.
The
Doctor didn't know what to do when he was a lodger. How the fuck does that make any sense? The Doctor's been around Earthlings for God knows how long. He knows about girlfriends. He knows about men drinking in bars. He knows all that shit. So all of a sudden, the Matt Smith Doctor's forgotten all that.
Yeah.
He's the same person. That's the kind of logic that makes me freak out when I'm watching the show. I'm like, what? Doctor Who needs to grow up. Writing-wise, it needs to grow up. That's what I think.
Don't they occasionally have memory issues after regeneration?
You have a regeneration crisis. Do you know the other thing that I hate as well that they brought in is the Doctor's critically or mortally wounded. Yeah. Every cell in his body's dying, but he manages to dance around the TARDIS for 15 minutes instead of like the old Doctors. They would literally hit the deck and they would literally be shattered and they'd change. Then they had the post regeneration crisis. It's just a nonsense now. It's like
the explosion.
What's it like? Yeah,
the explosion makes me annoyed as well. Why have that? Fire! It's
Jesus metaphor, Ian.
Yeah, it's rubbish though.
It's just, they always have to go bigger to almost.
Do you know what?
They've fact of their minor stories, their poor stories that they put together.
They've never done this, right? And if they have done it, somebody tell me. They've never done the Doctor doing this. He's going, I don't know, Doctor, I let you go. And as he's walking, he's changing as he's walking. And when he makes, and it doesn't stop. You keep seeing him and he changes. And once he changes, he falls to the ground. They've never done that before. That's what they should do in the next one. See, BBC, I've given you an idea. I've given you an idea. They should do that. That would be amazing. And they can do it now. They can literally do it now. So,
well, it's like when Tennant went the first time, wasn't it? He went on his victory lap where he saw every single one of his companions before flying off in the TARDIS, changing and then blowing the TARDIS to bits. And it's like, sorry, sure. Why would the Time Lords have TARDISes if someone was so dangerous with regeneration?
I know, it's stupid, isn't it?
It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
It really doesn't.
But the sensible we'll never get to see, will we? So
I
That's
do
not
like.
gonna
I
happen.
did like that that regeneration between him and Matt Smith. Immediately when I saw Matt Smith, I had a really good feeling about him. Immediately
Oh.
when he was near the console,
And he
and
spits
immediately
on
I
the
thought,
console.
yeah, spits on the console. I was thinking, this might be interesting, and he was great in the 11th hour. I don't know what you guys thought, but he was fantastic in 11th hour. One of my favorites.
I think I said to you before, mate, when we were doing the 11th hour review, he
Mm.
was one of them for me that I hadn't heard of Matt Smith, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not sure about this, but within the first 10 minutes, he'd already sold me. He was the Doctor. He was so good.
Same here.
You know, whereas Jodie, I was cheering, as I said, when she got booted out the TARDIS into the sky, because even the TARDIS didn't like her.
Yeah, but she should have regenerated. She fell.
Yep.
She hit the she should have died and changed into somebody else. My God, she would have changed to Shooty. Yeah. Oh my God. That was even worse.
I will say little girl who played the young Amelia Pond in the 11th hour, she was fantastic. Brilliant. And when he came back and she was gone, like that was a very powerful emotional episode that you could really connect to. And
yes,
I found out that you guys don't call them fish sticks, you call them fish fingers.
Fish fingers.
Yeah. Gavin Blackburn. We did actually review the 11th hour. We put it out last week. So if you go on the channel, you'll see our review of it where we're all sat there, and we're actually surprised it hadn't been taken down actually, but we actually have the video like that. We're watching it in real time and reacting to it. So check it out. Like Professor Artu said, he goes, he loved Matt Smith's era. Even when he was a little childish, it was at least entertaining.
Yeah. But that was the thing about him. He has this thing. Kids love Matt Smith. Do you know what I mean? They love him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he he's very childlike. And I think he was a great Doctor personally. I mean, obviously there were some really bad episodes, but immediately when he appeared in 11th hour, and that bit with I can't remember again. Sorry, excuse me. I can't remember that story with the whale. Yeah.
Beast Below.
Yeah.
Beast Below. Yeah.
And he does that speech and he says, "No one has anything to say to me today." That was just freaking on point.
Yeah, it took me a little time to get used to the younger skewing, but I think his Doctor brought in a whole new generation of fans too. So it really worked well for the show as a whole. But it usually takes me a little time to get used to a new Doctor, but it was heartbreaking when he left, man.
Yeah, it was.
I've heard a lot of people in the US have said to me that it was Matt Smith that got them into Doctor Who, not Tennant's era. It was Matt Smith. And they really like the three, Amy, Rory, and Matt Smith's Doctor. They just think it worked well.
That worked because again, they weren't trying to have any sexuality in that. I mean, it made sense that Rory was in love with Amy, and Amy, even though she didn't want to admit it, she was in love with Rory. Do you know what I mean? So it made sense, didn't it?
Yeah, and even they had their laughs at Rory. He wasn't a completely worthless man. Like,
no, he wasn't.
They did take the piss out of him. Yeah, exactly. And I think from then on, all you see is just men getting completely abused and shat on and made fun of and emasculated. And Rory had his moments, and they were quite heroic.
Oh yeah, I absolutely adore the Last Centurion.
Yeah. How many years did he wait for her?
2,000 years.
2000.
There you go.
But so what was also good, guys, about that Matt Smith era is, like you're saying about, the Rory loved Amy, but in that first season where Amy comes on to the 11th Doctor, and he basically pushes her away because it's foreign to him. And I like that. That's what the Doctor would do. Be like, what's going on here? But
I don't think it's foreign to him. I just think that because like he's a man of age and she's like a little girl compared to him, how old he is. So, it doesn't feel right that he would do it. I mean, obviously he would have sex with Rose because he was in love with her, but he's not in love with Amy, is he? So it just made sense that he would push her away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even though she was infatuated by him, she still really loved Rory, and that eventually came out. So,
yeah.
Why did you have to say have sex with Rose? You know, someone's right now going fanfic, going like that, going.
But you know, what is it?
Credit to Ian Diaz.
another amazing sequence. This goes to show how invested I was after the 11th hour. Do you remember that scene in it where she says it's been 2 years, and he goes, "The girl that waited, wait no more," and he clicks his fingers and the door's open, and she's just staring at it. You know what I mean? And then when she goes in, what great performance from her. You know, looking really amazed that it's bigger on the inside than the outside, and it was a crap TARDIS though. It was really rubbish, all that orange and shit. But it was her performance was really good. Let's face it. Nothing's beaten the 11th hour as far as I was concerned. Right?
It's a great story. I think we said during the review. I certainly did. It's one that I always go back to, and I'm happy every single time I watch it because it's just. Again, it's sad now looking back because that was at a time there was no agenda, none of that being pushed whatsoever. All it was there to do was to entertain.
Yeah, and the score was
engaged.
Yeah, the score on that was phenomenal. Like I just remember being pumped at the music as the show began its climax. It was just really well done.
Yes, the Marigold's "I Am the Doctor" motif is brilliant.
Yeah. I just think that if they do bring back the Doctor and they do it properly, I think the Doctor should be very different to the Tennant, the Smith era. I think the Doctor shouldn't be like all over the place, flapping his arms around. Even David Tennant gurning and all that rubbish. I think the Doctor should be more thoughtful this time round. Be the cleverest man in the room. Be the cleverest man, period, out of every episode, and not have this God thing that everybody's like. The Doctor, he's this God.
It's insufferable.
It's just rubbish. Go back to basics. Have him as clever as Tom Baker and John Pertwee's Doctor. Him being really thoughtful, speaking when he has to speak. All that is very different to the Doctors that we've had. That's how we should be. But they're not going to do that. It's going to be a black woman.
Have him be really quiet. He only says something when it matters, and he's like a man of action. Almost like John Wick a little bit, but
Yeah.
Well, I think, guys, that's why I've said before. For me, if you bring it back and take it seriously, you need to bring the Time Lords back permanently. You don't need to use them necessarily, but there needs to be a tier above the Doctor, like in Classic Who, so that this whole rubbish God status is got rid of. To basically say, if he steps out of line, there's people above him that will basically say, no, there's a consequence to that. And that's what they keep getting rid of. It's it worked in the first season with Eccleston because of the whole time war and all of that, but it got tiring very, very quickly. But what I'll do before I sort of say goodbye to everyone in the chat and put some links out for some shows, I just wanted to go round and basically I'll start with you, Z, just to finish off. So what's your final thoughts on this news? What's your raw opinion on this announcement today?
Well, to be quite honest, this is the last nail in the coffin of the RTD2 era. I'm glad it's over and done with. I hope we never see him again.
Yeah.
And I don't think this Christmas special is going to sort anything out. I just think everybody's going to be left with this really bitter taste in their mouth at the end of it.
Yeah, he's got form, hasn't he? So you base that on the evidence of the last few years. Ian,
it's dead.
Final thoughts? Yeah,
it's
dead, Jim.
It's dead. It doesn't matter what they do from this point on. If the BBC doesn't change their rhetoric, and if Russell T should not be writing this. It's stupid logic. It really is very, very dumb logic. Why would you get the person who fucked up in the first place to correct everything? Why can't they just get someone new in to deal with it? It makes no sense. The thing is dead until someone can actually treat Doctor Who with respect. It's always going to be dead.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
Yeah, agree. Ista, what do you think?
I'm still not entirely convinced that this is going to happen, but if it does, you can never solve a problem with the person who created it. And
right.
it's we've been given no reason whatsoever to expect anything different from what we've been given over the last 10 years. So if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong, but you guys are be the guinea pigs because you'll watch it first, because I'm not going to waste my time. There'll have to be a significant amount of buzz before I, crack it open and take a look.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wanted to say thanks again to Brendan from the Sense Sphere for coming on tonight. If you look in the description, there's a link to his channel where he's done a short YouTube video tonight about the latest news from his sources about this announcement, that what he discussed earlier on the show. So check that out. Also, just want to say, Ista, where else can you be found, my friend?
Well, I have I have a small channel. I have one 20-second video up. It's sort of a joke, but I'm working on an actual real legitimate video. And I have to say, it's harder than it looks, and props to all those content creators out there. So I'm hoping to get that up, I don't know, within a month. But in the meantime, you can go look at my extremely short video on my channel and take a look at that, and, throw a sub if you want. And I'm on Twitter. I have the same name everywhere, so you can always find me at Istophobos.
Yeah. Give him a like and subscribe, everybody. And Z, where else can you be found, my friend?
Oh, I lurk around on the Mr. Brown Alliance channel and also on the Trev Retro channels. So I do whore myself about to other streams every now and again. So
he's a whore.
Feel free. I'm 3POZ on Twats. Do give me a follow, and I'll give you, I don't know, some sort of digital sexually transmitted disease.
That sounds bad.
I shudder to think what that'll be, my friend.
Computer virus.
Oh, I can't post a link in the chat.
Oh, can you not? Hang on. There we go.
Hang on.
There we go. Let's got that up. So also Ian, Rebecca Gold. Tell us all about what's going on with Rebecca Gold, my friend.
It's almost finished. The premiere is going to be on the 6th of December. If I put a message out saying people have given me money, if they live in London, they're welcome to come to the screening. I haven't had any replies. I've had one reply, would you believe? And a lot of people gave me money. I'm just puzzled by that, because it was on Facebook, it was on X, it was on Instagram, and I know these people lurk there. So maybe they all live outside England. That's all I can say. But they will be getting a link. But if that's the case and I have seats to fill, then I might just open it up to the public if they want to come and meet the stars and come to the screening and chill out and stuff. Then but I don't know. But please subscribe to the Rebecca Gold YouTube channel. I'm almost there on 3K, but not quite. So if people can subscribe, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, make sure you do. There's a link in the description as well. So check it out. And I just wanted to say to everybody, it's been an absolute joy having you in the chat tonight. There's been so many of you. I appreciate it. If you've enjoyed the show, by all means, like and subscribe if you want to see more from us. But until next time, have a safe rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Take care, all. See ya.
Ta-da.
Bye.